What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful week so far. Today is Friday, May 28th. It's about 1 p.m. in the afternoon right now. Today's video is going to be a follow-up video on the Goodyear flip that we locked up a couple days ago for me. By the time you guys are watching this video, it's probably been about a week and a half now. We jumped right into it. Renovations have already, actually, the demo has already started. The entire project has started, but the actual renovation aspect of it hasn't quite started yet until we fully demo everything out, gut the flooring, remove all the flooring, throw all the trash away and stuff like that. But today's video is going to be talking a little bit about how we found the deal, why we took on the deal, and just run the numbers through what we plan on doing with it, the renovation costs, our break-even point, and then obviously our hopeful profit margin on this property. And then we're going to go over the timeline a little bit as well. So sit back, relax, enjoy the video. Let's jump right into it. I want to talk a little bit about, because the last video I talked about, I realized I didn't really talk about how we actually got the deal. So this deal is actually really exciting to me because this was the first time ever where we actually did not use a wholesaler, where someone called a bird dog, technically. It's someone that basically scouts properties, and instead of locking it up under contract and wholesaling it to us, they basically just sent us all the information for the owner. They were basically the middleman on basically connecting us, the cash buyers, with the owner who wanted to sell the property. And in exchange for connecting us together, we agreed to pay him $7,500 if the contract went through and we closed on the property. So we wrote up a contract for that, and he ended up getting paid $7,500. I found out he's 18 years old, so that was probably a great paycheck for him. And then we obviously got a great deal as well. So that's how we found the deal. The reason why I'm so excited about it is because we're less reliant on a third party now. We don't have to rely on wholesalers sending us properties. If we can get enough people knowing that we are cash buyers looking for properties, we can go direct to seller like we did, and it would basically just give us more volume, more opportunities in general. There's just more houses across our desk if we get more people looking for us, and it does save us a little bit of money because a wholesaler most likely would have nickel and dimed, first of all, the homeowner to get it even lower, but they also would have tacked up their price a ton. So it actually worked out in all parties. The seller of the property, she's an extremely nice lady. I've talked to her numerous times on the phone. She's extremely grateful. She's in a tough situation. She just wanted to get rid of the property. There's a $20,000 insurance claim in the property with an active leak that she was unaware of for a couple days. So by the time she got there, it was completely flooded. She just didn't want to list the house. She's just you know what, this is I have enough equity in the property. She bought it originally for $200,000. She's like, I really just want to get rid of it. You guys give me a fair price and I will take it. So that's exactly what happened. She's, like I said, extremely grateful. A little bit about this property. I deleted the address, obviously. It is in Goodyear, Arizona, which is on the west side. We live on the east side, so I am not super familiar with the west side of Arizona. Obviously, I know where Goodyear is. I've been there multiple times, but it's not like I know the East Valley like the back of my hand. The good thing about running comps, and if you're efficient at running comps, you don't really need to know the area. That's why a lot of wholesalers do remote wholesaling out of state, because they don't need to know the area. If comps are comps, numbers are numbers. If the numbers look good, then it'll work no matter where the property is. Obviously, it's a little bit more of a confidence booster if you know the specific area. I would be able to, if someone brought me a property where I actually live in Gilbert, Arizona, I would know exactly the moment they send it to me based on the amount of square footage, how much it should go for, and what a good deal is. But in Goodyear, I actually have to run the comps because I'm not familiar with it. We picked this up May 25th, 2021. We put a very low earnest money deposit down just because I personally wrote up the contract for myself. We sent it to her for signature. She agreed on it. So I kind of acted as a dual agent in a sense, even though I wasn't a real estate agent in this transaction. Because I have the experience, I was able to write up just a normal, straightforward contract, which is great. We did not pay any commissions whatsoever to any agents on either side. Purchase price. One thing I want to note here is we actually picked this property. We originally had it for $327,000. I sent an inspector out there. I always recommend getting inspections on properties that you're not only going to purchase for yourself, but investments as well. Just because if there's a huge issue that's $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 that you were unaware of, paying $300 can save you a ton of money and get you out of a bad deal. So I ended up spending, you guys can see the inspection right here, $375 for an inspector to go out there. He found out that the AC unit was actually broken or wasn't functioning. So I went back to her after the inspection. I was like, hey, listen, is there anything we can do? My inspector said the AC is not working. He couldn't get it. He couldn't figure it out. Obviously, he's not going to spend hours and hours trying to figure out the problem. He's not an AC expert or an HVAC expert. So she's like, you know what? We'll take $4,000 off the purchase price. So we agreed on that. So that's how we dropped it down $4K to $323,000 is what we picked it up for. Our finder's fee, we agreed basically how we found out this number, I was like, if you, because he actually negotiated for us too. Like before we even got a hold of the seller, he was back and forth and we kind of agreed on a verbal price point. So this finder was actually very, very active throughout this entire transaction. So I told him, I'm like, if you can get this property under $330,000, I'll give you $7,500. If you get it above $330,000, I will give you, I think it was like $3,000 to $4,000 total cash to close after our closing costs. This was a cash deal, so we didn't actually have a whole lot of closing costs. $324,000 and some change, and then cash to close plus the finder's fees, basically all in on this property right now. We are $331,629. So now for the fun part, renovations. This property, we are planning on doing a lot more renovations. Like when we go into wholesale, when we go into flipping properties, we usually do one of two ways. We usually just do like lipstick touch up, which we did on our last property in Phoenix. For those of you guys that missed it, we basically spent $8,000 and just relisted it right away. It could have used a little bit more work, but that was just the market we're in, the area that we were in, the price point of the house. So we either do that where we'll spend very little money just to kind of do the cosmetic touch-ups, and then we'll do the other side of that where we'll spend a lot of money on renovations and try to get top dollar out of it. We're going the approach on this property to spend a lot of money to get top dollar when we go to sell it, because we do have a lot of margin in here. We're going to try to stretch that margin even higher and get a better return on our investment. So we're planning on, our budget originally when I first walked this property was $40,000, and I actually just broke it down before this video, and it actually looks like we're pretty close to it right now. My budget's still staying right around $35,000 to $40,000 for this property. There's not a whole lot of work behind the walls because it's a new build. On our Mesa flip, that if you guys have followed me for 6 months now, we did like we tore down walls. We had to get new electrical throughout the whole house, new plumbing because it was an older house. But this, we don't have to deal with any of that, hopefully. So it's mainly cosmetic stuff here. I was originally thinking about tearing down a wall here, but I think we're just going to leave the wall and kind of keep it straightforward and go from there. So I'll show you guys some pictures too on what I'm referring to. But basically these top three right here are things that we've actually already fixed or paid for. Come to find out, the AC unit just had like a missing cord, or it was something in the, I don't know, the AC guy went over for a couple hours and he charged $85 to actually go to the property, and then to fix it was like $135. So that actually saved us a lot of money. It was about, basically to hire the inspector to go out there, we negotiated $4,000, but it ended up saving us or making us $3,700 just for spending the inspection fee. So I would say getting an inspector out there has a great return on our investment. We actually have negotiated plenty of times before because of the inspector found something where we were able to knock down some money on the purchase price. So it is worth spending that extra money on an inspector, because sometimes you can negotiate even after the contract's written up. Amazon purchases was actually, I went on last night till like 11 p.m. and just bought a bunch of stuff that we need for the house. I got the majority of like hardware, doorknobs, fans, light fixtures, door stops, cabinet handles, like a bunch of just small miscellaneous stuff that ended up being $1,263. We need to get a little bit more down the road, but I got the majority of it out of the way now because we're trying to move super fast on this. The market is red hot right now. It's crazy. So we're trying to get this property listed as soon as possible, just because if there is something that's going to change, I highly doubt the market's going to reverse anytime soon, but we're just playing it safe and trying to get this up as fast as possible. Demo. He's demoing the entire floor, the 2,000 square foot house. He's ripping up all the tile, cleaning it up, smoothing it out, and prepping it for our flooring guy. He's also getting rid of all the miscellaneous furniture that was left in there. I'll show you pictures of that a little bit later on. And then he's also like tearing down some of the light fixtures and fans that we no longer want in the property. He's moving the appliances out of the kitchen into the garage so we can sell those. And then he's going to cover them up so the painters can come in and do what they want to do without having appliances in the way. That's something I learned on my last house, is just get everything out of the way before you start renovations, because the last thing you want to do is have contractors like moving things around, paint splashes everywhere, they get things dirty, they start denting stuff, chipping stuff. So it's just better to get everything a clean slate before you get anything started. So it's always nice because every house I flip, I learn more and more and more. There's so many things I learned from the last flip that I'm utilizing here. I'm sure I'm going to make some mistakes on this flip, where I'm going to learn on my next flip, and you just keep progressing that way. By the time you guys are watching this video, I think we're actually closing on our next flip as well. So I'll probably film some videos on that. Interior paint, exterior paint. My guy's a dollar a square foot. He's pretty straightforward with it. If he does have to prep anything, prime anything, sand anything down for the paint, he does charge extra. So I added another $200 in there just in case. So he's probably going to be about $2,300. This $2,000 demo works an estimate too. He quoted me at $1,500 and then whatever the trash dump fee is. So anything down here, anything lower than this, guys, all of this right here is just my projection. So I want you to keep that in mind. This is not what we're paying. This is what I assume it's going to cost. So it'll be fun to kind of go back in a couple weeks from now and actually see what I actually thought it was going to be compared to what the actual quote is. So we're going to move through this really quickly. Landscaping, we're not changing anything. We're just cleaning it up. Flooring, I estimate about 1,400 square feet is going to be LVP or luxury vinyl plank. Probably about $1.90 install a square foot. He may be a little cheaper, and then we're probably going to get material about $2 to $1.75 depending on what we want to use. Interior paint, we're doing cabinets as well. Cabinets are super expensive because of the prep work and the expensive paint that we have to use for cabinets. So I estimated he's $1 a square foot as well, unless he has to prime and prep stuff. I estimated with the cabinets about $3,500. We're going to do that later on. We're going to do flooring first, and then we're going to do paint and everything afterwards. Handyman labor, installing all the fans, light fixtures, cabinet handles, miscellaneous stuff. He's going to be about $2,000. Drywall repair, because of all the leak damage, we have to remove a lot of drywall. It's going to probably be about $1,000. I'm not quite sure on that quote. I never have done a lot of drywall stuff, so that's just kind of a rough estimate. Carpet. Pretty precise on this, I think. We're probably going to be around $800. We're only going to carpet 2 of the 3 bedrooms. The master, I think we're going to let it flow with the rest of the house just because of the way the house flows. I think it'll look a lot better to just let the LVP run through the master bedroom. Countertops, a pretty expensive one right here, about $5,000 with material and labor. We're probably going to need 3 or 4 slabs of granite, which is about $750 a slab. Bathroom renovations. This is where I'm kind of stuck on right now. We can go a route where we can go very minimal and kind of just keep it as is and just touch it up, spice it up a little bit. Or we were thinking about completely tearing out the master bathroom and doing like a completely super sick walk-in shower with no door. It's so hard to explain right now, but we can go 2 different approaches on this. And we're trying to figure out right now with this price point at under $500,000, it's like, is it really going to give us a good return on our investment if we spend an additional $6,000 on a bathroom? So we're not quite sure on this quote yet. This can either be $4,000 or it could be $10,000. So that's something we'll look into later. Every single window in this house is super like sticky and stuck, so we're gonna get a window guy in there. That's just a rough estimate. Debating on epoxying the garage floor. It's really dirty right now. We might spend the extra $800. It would look really, really nice. We're getting all new light fixtures in the garage, so I think with a nice new looking floor and some really nice LEDs in the garage, it would have a really good pop and really attract a lot of people to the garage. So spending an extra $800 on there, probably worth it. Miscellaneous repairs, anything that just comes up as throughout. It could be more, it could be less. $1,000 I have for that. We're going to get brand new 2 toilets. The toilets are in there. They're original. Miscellaneous materials as well. Like we still have to get another fan. We still have to get a couple more light fixtures and chandeliers. So I added this into that material section. Baseboards. We're getting all new baseboards. The baseboards are fine in there now, but like we're going to get the nice new like 4 to 6 inch baseboards that just look incredible. So we're going to spend some money on that. That was a rough estimate. Staging. I think we're going to stage this house if we want top dollar for it, about $1,700. Backsplash in the kitchen, $800. And then there's some like cracked tiles on the roof that we're probably just going to throw on there, $250. We're doing this. It's not a huge deal, but it will come up on the inspection when we go to sell the property. And the more we can do to alleviate any inspection issues on the selling end just makes the transaction so much easier. One, if you have too many problems on the inspection, you may get a home buyer that gets scared off. They're like, holy crap, there's so many problems with this house. Even though there's not, it just looks like it's bad on the inspection. So you may actually get someone to like just completely back out of the contract, which happens a lot. Or they may just try to nickel and dime you with credits or have you repair a bunch of stuff. So it's better to get an inspection up front, because most of the time whatever gets caught up front when you buy the house, it's going to get caught on the back end if you don't fix it. So the roof repairs came up from my inspector, so we're just going to repair the roof and move on with it. It's super cheap. Like I said, it's not a huge deal, but having it not show up on the inspection on the back end is way better. In total, $38,833 is our estimate. We have our holding costs down here. I talk about this all the time. Insurance is $123 a month. We already paid our first month. Water, trash, electric bill, I have no idea what that's going to be. It's a decent sized house, average size. It is in the summer, so we might have a little bit of a bigger bill with the AC unit. But here's the numbers that you guys want to see right here. This is kind of everything estimated, very estimated, guys. So this 393 can be way off. 39 in repairs, 2,000 in holding costs, 332,000 round up in purchase price and closing costs on the back end. We can usually nail this down pretty good. It usually comes out to about 4% of the overall house or purchase price if you're in that range of like $300,000 to $500,000. I'm going to take a percent for my fee as a listing agent. I'm going to most likely give the buying agent about 2.5% commission, and then there's generally a 0.5% of closing costs on our end for a title and escrow and stuff like that. So all in, we should be around hopefully under $400,000 when it's all said and done here. I have it at 393 right now, but who knows? Estimated sell price. So this is, I think we can, based on comps, I'm pretty confident we can get $475,000 for this. With the market like this, we can upwards of $500,000, I think is definitely possible. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with the West Valley, so it will be interesting when we go to list it, but we do have some decent margin in this property. I'm super excited for it. A couple things to note though, like there's a lot of uncertainty still. When we start tearing stuff down, we could have to do a lot more repairs and stuff like that, so we do have to make sure, like, we can't get excited right now, obviously, until the property officially closes. When we sell the property, it's all said and done. So we still have a lot of hoops to jump through on this. I didn't even like really adding up all these numbers right now. The reason why I don't have my profit written out is because I don't want to think about it. There's so many other things that are in the way between us getting this money and right now. I just don't even like running the numbers in my head until like everything gets closer and closer to closing time. So this is a rough estimate right now, guys. Let me show you guys some pictures as well of this property. I know you guys saw a full tour the other day, but for those of you guys that missed that video, let's just run through it really quickly. Hallway. This bathroom, we're actually going to reuse this mirror. We're going to get new light fixture. We're going to get new countertops. We're going to paint the cabinets, new toilet. We are going to, you guys can kind of see, I'm in the way right here. You guys can kind of see this towel right here. We are going to get rid of that as well. We're going to get all new towel racks and stuff. Yeah, bedroom. This is the wall that I was thinking about removing for those of you guys that care. I couldn't sleep last night. I was like, wait, what if we tear down this wall? It would honestly like probably add another $5,000-$6,000 to our renovations, but this like torn down with a nice little island right here would look so nice. And I don't know if this is load bearing. We'd have to figure it out, but like this would look super, super nice, guys. Like a completely open concept. Ripped out this entire wall too. There's only cabinets over here, so the only thing we'd have to make sure we fit in is the sink. The sink's honestly in a good spot right now where we won't have to like reroute any of the plumbing. So something to think about. I have to figure it out within the next day or so here, because once we get the flooring guy in there, we have to have our floor plan ready to go. But I think that would look really good. Let me know what you guys think. Would you spend the extra money on it? Hallway, this is where the leak was. You guys can see right here. It's a little bit of drywall stuff. Our demo guy is going to demo all this. He's going to most likely, I think I told him to get rid of all the fans and stuff, all this trash right here. So we should be starting with a clean slate. We're getting a new cabinet right here as well. This had a bunch of water damage to it, so I forgot to add that into the quote. So add another $600-$700 for that. Yeah, great curb appeal. We're gonna get rid of this security door right here. I think it just doesn't look too good, and when we paint the actual door itself, I think that would be look really nice with a nice painted door. It's a great neighborhood. I don't think there's any need of a security door, so I think it was just the previous owner wanting to be a little bit safer. She was a little bit older, so yeah, that's it. I mean, kitchen. And then the garage. Here's a garage as well. So we will most likely epoxy it. It's just a lot of staining and stuff. It would look really good with a nice fresh coat of epoxy on it. So that is it, guys. Let me expand myself right here. I want to thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys have any questions about this flip, comment down below. This was an extremely long video, but I hope that you guys found it useful or entertaining. Drop a like if you guys could. I really do appreciate it. We're closing on our next house for me in 3 days, and I also have my tenants moving out of one of my student rentals the same exact time frame that house closes. So I'm going to be spending a couple $1,000s there, renovating it, renting it out. I will film a whole series on that, showing you guys my rental property. I don't think I've never filmed in that rental property before, so this will be the first time I see the condition it's in. It's had students living there for a year, so it should be very interesting. And then yeah, I have to go right now. I have to actually go look at a house. So thank you guys. I just realized that. Holy crap. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys soon. I am out the door right now. And yeah, enjoy your week.